Mgtow Millionaire, Lesson 15, Consequences of Money. Welcome back with another video. This is your host, Fucker Truman. Thank you for dropping by to my little corner of the web. Today we're going to touch on a little subject that my boss used to repeat over and over again like a mantra. He said, once you start to get money, you can never be sure who comes next to you. You cannot trust them. You can't trust women. You can't trust men. You just can't trust anybody. So, what do you need to keep in mind with all this? Whatever friends you have made until now are probably not exclusively, but almost certainly the last true friends you'll ever have. And even if they're your friends now, money can change and destroy, modify, or hurt your current relationships. If you have enough money and power, you rise in social status. You go from living a normal life to being mid-high class to high class. Some will push away, some will stop talking to you, some will feel foreign to you. They won't come near you because they don't feel comfortable being surrounded by the type of life that you now have that they can't have. Others will try to get advantage of you, get a cut, get a sliver. He's my ticket out of the shithole, so might as well get close to him. Others will just come for the money and be upfront about it. Let's be honest. Business is business and keep it clean. But for the most part, there's always going to be a shady element from here on out once you stop making money. Power corrupts. Absolute power corrupts. Absolutely. You've heard it a million times. It's not a lie. So here's a story about that. Back in the circa of 1995, in Peru, this used to be when the recycling businesses started to grow in South America. One of the very first recycling businesses, the ones who get all the garbage and everything else that from electronics, cell phones were starting out, radios, TVs and all that stuff. They gather all the circuits and the components and get them ready and get them crushed or clean so they can take out the different components, gold, silver, copper, etc. Grind them together and send them to Japan in containers so they can be reused, etc. That was one of the businesses that started the fortune of my boss. And as such, he started out with $50,000 of investment and started growing it slowly. The more containers you sell, the more money you make. It is not that great of a business because per every 3 containers or per every 3 months, give or take for you, if you invest $20,000, you'll get about $27,000. You'll get them for sure, but it's $7,000 every $20,000. It's like the investment is higher than the return. Even if it's a sure thing and you know how you're doing things, the return is not justifiable when you can put that money into or tradable assets like stocks, bonds. But he started out that way. And he had his offices in Peru because it was easier to do it then. It was a bigger market. Lima is far better market than Colombia for some things, and that's an example. So he did that. But by law, you have to have a partner down in Peru. If you don't have a partner in Peru, it is not permitted for you to own a company. It's the same thing with Chinese. They want you to share the technology you want to go in because they want to steal the technology you have used. Or steal, well, not really, because you want to come into a Chinese market, you have to give me your technology and a cut of it if you want to hear it. If not, don't come. Same thing in Peru. You get all the tax breaks and all the advantages, but you have to give a Peruvian the in and the know-how of whatever it is that you're doing. Long story short, this partner of my boss betrayed him, took over the business by a technicality in the law that he was not aware of because he was too trustful of that one person. And it didn't happen overnight. It took 7 to 10 years for that to happen. Fortunately for my boss, he had already all the other businesses that he had running, even the one I was working in with him directly. So the loss of that business wasn't that much of a hit in his bottom line. But those two, his partner and him, started off when they didn't have that much money. They had money, they were well off because they came from rich families. But it was their own money that they started using, and that's when they were driving pickup trucks and living in a very small apartment. He lost his best friend because of that. He has no friends, but millions. He has an incredible life, but no one he trusts. He closed that tale by saying one thing, again with a glass of whiskey. He said, I'm happy with my life, with the choices I've made, with the way I live, because I was conscious of the consequences and what was going to happen and what happened and everything I had to do before, during, and after all the things that I told you. I'm okay with my life. But if you walk path of money, there may come a day that you have to choose that same path or the same decision. Can you handle it? Are you strong enough? If it came to that, would you do it? Do you know where you're getting into by trying to make it rich? Do you really know the price to pay is not only hard work and long hours? Sometimes. Business can get dirty. Can you take it? Can you do it? In his case, and he always reminded me of this, I can't trust anybody except my own blood and then a couple of people that I know. And I did ask him, finally, why are you teaching me this particular lesson? And he just laughed at me and looked and said, you look like the kind of guy that if he doesn't get taught this lesson, will be like a deer in the headlights and you'll get run over by life. Why is it I remember that today? And F to those who don't think about the consequences of what's going to happen with their lives. So think it over, guys. Subscribe, like, and comment on. If you like this material, please share. And we're nearing the 10 subscribers as we told, so we can start working to the next level of this channel and see where we get. This is Fuck It Truman, your host, signing off.